7:50 on a Sunday. You know what that means? It's return of the Moe. Moe Khan joining us to talk a little college football here on Weekend Game Plan with Matthew Ross. How you doing, Mo?
I am well. Yourself, Matthew?
I'm well. Do you like your theme song that we chose?
You know, it's funny because in the car during the week, I'll hear the Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison. I go, hey, that's the Matthew Ross song from Moe Khan.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly it. Your old buddy Sean Coleman's here in studio as well.
I know. We're not old buddies. We're buddies.
Oh, all right.
I like that.
There's some giggling there. I don't know what the inside joke is, but
I like it, you know.
All right, Mo, let's talk some college football here on the show. Well, Montreal and Laval, pretty predictable moving on, huh?
It is, but, you know, for those who would like to see this every year, we're seeing the gap close with Concordia and McGill, even though the scoreline does not indicate that at all. But now, the way it was, Matthew, 3-4 years ago, we always had the big three, Sherbrooke, Laval, and Montreal in the Final Four. Now we're seeing that parity really show up. And I think in the next 2-3 years, I'm not saying who it will be, but one of these teams, Concordia or McGill, if they stay with the course and with their core players that they have in place, they will upend Laval or Montreal at some point here. But yes, it will be Laval, Montreal. It will be a TV ratings bonanza for next week. This will be a sellout crowd at Montreal. The first time they're going to host a Dunsmore Cup in their backyard. I'm going to be there, and it's going to be quite fascinating to see how this plays out here. But this could definitely be the winner of that game going to the Vanier Cup in about 2.5 weeks from now.
All right, Mo. Elsewhere, in terms of college sports, men's rugby, McGill and Bishops. Tell me about that.
Great game last night. I got to call that game. I finished 27-24 McGill. In fact, McGill was down early in this matchup against Bishops. They really brought it to them throughout the first 40 minutes of the opening half here. And at one point, Bishops was in control of this game here. They had McGill on their heels, pinned deep in their own end here. But when you look at guys like Alex Pantis, who played very well, Andrew Metz, who had a fantastic game with his converts and tries, they did a really good job. They chipped away. But, Matt, the thing about rugby, which Sean knows very well, is that at the end of the game, it doesn't end unless there's a penalty of some sort here. So Bishops had literally like 4 or 5 minutes for an opportunity to go for the try and perhaps tied up at 27, but couldn't get it in. And McGill now wins, and they'll go to their second consecutive RSEQ final, and they await the winner of U of M against ETS. That's going to be played today at the Subsum, and the winner of that game will play McGill next week, depending on the site. If U of M does win, it'll be U of M. If not, McGill will play ETS in their backyard.
Yeah, Coleman, you're a veteran rugby guy. What was your position?
I was a scrum half. I was that little pesky guy who would always chirp his mouth off and then run behind the bigger players to defend me when we got into a fight.
Nice. Nice. That works. All right, Mo, how about on the ice, men's and women's side of things?
Well, first and foremost, the McGill women's team will play Ottawa U today. Now, Ottawa U is a very sneaky good team this year, and Sean Coleman knows very well doing the women's games in years past. This year, Ottawa has upended U of M, and they played McGill very tight here. And now this will be a true litmus test for the Ottawa GGs, going up against a team like McGill, who doesn't have Melly Daou in the lineup, who's playing the Four Nations Cup with Team Canada. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens here, because Ottawa U is a high-scoring team here. McGill's not really got going on track yet. So if they can get them to go, I'm talking about Ottawa U, if they can get going early and often with some goals here, this could be a high-scoring game, but I think McGill wants to play it to a low-scoring affair here. So it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out this afternoon with the Ottawa GGs against the McGill Marlets at McCollum Arena at 3 p.m.
We're chatting with Moe Khan of TSN 690 here on Weekend Game Plan with Matthew Ross as we talk a little CIS and college sports. We were just talking about the men's hockey side of things, just to give fans a little perspective. In the standings, Concordia 7-2, McGill also 7-2 right now. That's according to the CIS standings right now. Mo, I wanted to switch gears here and talk a little NFL with you. All right, big game on TSN 690 tonight, right? You're a Raiders fan. Coleman and I are Broncos fans. What's your take?
What's Dave trying to do this team again?
Ravens.
Yeah, I think Eagles for no reason. This. It'll come down to two things here. Can the Raiders establish a run game against a very good Broncos front seven? If they can't do that, and they force their Carr into a passing situation, advantage Broncos. Now, for the strength of the Raiders being the run game, the pass game, with no Aqib Talib more likely than not here, what does Derek Carr do? And he's not going to be afraid to challenge Chris Harris or Bradley Roby. So it'll come down to the Raider game if they're able to establish something here, and can the Broncos play pass defense. If they can do that, I think the Broncos have the slight edge here. They're the more veteran team right now against a young, unproven Raider team. I think the Broncos win this game by 3 points or more.
I think it's going to be a tough game all around. Talib considered out right now for the Broncos. Also out, a backup cornerback by the name of Kayvon Webster for the Broncos, and that means their depth is really going to be challenged. So, Carr could be going to his, second and third options here, and the coverage may not be there on the Broncos side. So I think you're going to see a lot of points being scored here if Trevor Siemian can throw the ball, stretch the field a little bit. It's going to be a tough game. What about all right for Trent Dewey? What about Ravens and Pittsburgh? It looks like it's not confirmed, but it looks like Ben Roethlisberger will play today. I don't know how effective he'll be. There's a slight chance he'll be the backup, but it looks like he'll at least dress.
Well, that's it, right? If Big Ben plays today, Matt, it's a difference, no matter how healthy he is. I think for Baltimore, this is a team that's been up and down this season. They've not been able to find their identity as an offense or on defense. And I think for them, and in years past, Matt, if you look at those score lines between Baltimore and Pittsburgh, very low scoring. I think that still applies in this game today. It'll be the run game. Can they stop Le'Veon Bell? Can they stop the Pittsburgh run attack here? I think for Pittsburgh, they have to prove on defense that they're far more consistent than what they've been so far this year. And it'll be important to see what Marty Mornhinweg calls for plays for Joe Flacco. Is it going to be trying to stretch the defense here? Is he going to use the run game, which has not been that great for Baltimore? So a lot more questions on the Baltimore side of things here. I think Pittsburgh comes in and wins this game by about 4 points or more.
One other note on that game, Steve Smith Sr., still a game-time decision. Adam Schefter reporting that the Ravens are going with 2 game plans, one with him, one without him. So still undetermined on the Ravens side of things. I agree with you. Ravens play down to their opponents, or rather they kill the lower teams, and then they really struggle with some of the more competitive teams. That's what we've seen so far
Are
this
they
year.
going with the weekend game plan, or are they going with the game plan?
Oh, very nice. Plug for our show. I like that, Moe Khan. Moe Khan 19 on Twitter if you want to follow Mo there. Mo, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And this Thursday, Laval, McGill, women's and men's basketball at Love Competition Hall. The women's and men's season begins for Concordia and all of the Quebec teams this Thursday onwards.
All right. And then you're on a broadcast today?
I am on broadcast with my buddy Graham Naismith, who's calling the game, but then I'll be calling the men's game for McGill Redmen against Laval Rouge this Thursday. So I look forward to getting involved with the basketball scene. Should be a great year with McGill, Laval, I believe, in Concordia being the top 3 teams of that conference.
All right, so check out the McGill website and look for the live feed links. Mo, thanks so much.
Guys, have a great week. Go Raiders.
Take care.